O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Comedy on this Monday with episodes of My Favorite Husband starring Lucille Ball and Richard Denning, The Adventures of Archie Andrews starring Bob Hastings, Groucho Marx and You Bet Your Life, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, and Claudia. That's all straight ahead on this Monday, the 10th day of March, 69th day of the year, 296 days left in 2025. In St. Louis on this date in 1804, a formal ceremony conducted to transfer ownership of the Louisiana Territory from France to the U.S. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, ratified by the Senate on this date in 1848, ending the Mexican-American War. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell made the first successful telephone call by saying, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." It was on this date in 1880 members of the Salvation Army landed in the U.S. and began operations. Almond Stroeger, an undertaker in Topeka, Kansas, patented the Stroeger switch in 1891, a device which led to the automation of telephone circuit switching. In 1902, a U.S. Court of Appeals ruled that Thomas Edison did not invent the movie camera. And an earthquake in Long Beach, California, killed 120 people on this date in 1933.
What's the matter? Earthquake! Yeah. Quick, get behind, folks. No, everybody walk. It's all right now. It's all right. Come on. All right. Okay.
Now, for years, this was considered to be an outtake from the film International House when the quake hit in Los Angeles. The voice you hear telling people to stay calm is W.C. Fields. A documentary featurette on Fields accompanying the film's DVD release, however, revealed that Fields and director Sutherland faked the footage for the publicity. In 1969, on this date in Memphis, James Earl Ray entered a guilty plea and was sentenced to 99 years in prison for the 1968 assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A major question then was whether Ray had acted alone. The presiding judge, W. Preston Battle, said there was no evidence of a conspiracy.
The prosecution at this time is not in possession of enough evidence to indict anyone as a co-conspirator in this case.
Now, James Earl Ray recanted his confession shortly afterwards. With the unlikely help of the King family, he sought a trial to clear his name, but he died in prison in 1998 of liver disease. In 1977, astronomers discovered rings around the planet Uranus. I call it Uranus because if I call it Uranus, people snicker. In 1982, the U.S. placed an embargo on Libyan petroleum imports because of their support of terrorist groups. Now, it was on this date in 1982, all 9 planets aligned on the same side of the sun. And it was supposed to be some big magical deal, but nothing really happened. The Holy See condemned the practice of surrogate motherhood on this date in 1987, along with test tube babies and artificial insemination. In 1993, abortion doctor David Gunn murdered outside the clinic he worked at in Pensacola, Florida.
He just went up, chased the doctor there, and just shot him point blank.
A witness to the murder, a jury convicted Michael Griffith. He's serving life in prison. In 2004, teen sniper Lee Boyd Malvo sentenced in Chesapeake, Virginia, to life in prison. And in 2006, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter arrived at Mars. 2008, news broke that New York Governor Eliot Spitzer had been caught on a federal wiretap arranging to meet a high-priced call girl at a Washington hotel. Spitzer quickly issued a public apology.
I have acted in a way that violates my obligations to my family and that violates my or any sense of right and wrong.
Spitzer did not immediately resign, but he did 7 days later. The World Health Organization officially announced the COVID-19 outbreak as a pandemic on this date in 2020. And in 2023, 2 years ago today, Silicon Valley Bank collapsed due to a run on its deposits in the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. Passing away on this date in history, abolitionist Harriet Tubman, British actor Ray Milland, Andy Gibb, I Just Want to Be Your Everything. He died 5 days after his 30th birthday of a heart infection. Singer LaVerne Baker also passing away on this date. Actor Lloyd Bridges, the Big Cat Ernie Ladd, the pro wrestler and football player, and Canadian actor Corey Haim, all passing away on this date in history. Birthdays on this date included the Irish actor Barry Fitzgerald, musician Bix Beiderbecke, and Osama bin Laden, all born on this date.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
I will say this very politely and very dignified because I want to stay alive. Chuck Norris is 85 years old today.
Tell your guys to put their guns down. The only gun you have to worry about is the one in your back.
Chuck Norris, 85 years old today. Also 85, Dean Torrance of Jan and Dean. Shannon Tweed, the model, 68 years old. Sharon Stone, 67. From a Different World, Jasmine Guy is 63. Nina Cherry, 61. Mrs. Paul Simon, Edie Brickell of the New Bohemians, and she did an album of bluegrass with Steve Martin. Edie Brickell, 59 today. From Mad Men, John Hamm is 54.
There's the rare occasion when the public can be engaged on a level beyond flash, if they have a sentimental bond with the product.
From Mad Men, John Hamm, 54 today. Carrie Underwood, 42. From House, Olivia Wilde is 41. And from Young Sheldon and George and Mandy's First Marriage over on CBS, Emily Osment is 33. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the 10th day of March as their birthday. If this is your birthday,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
A quick note. Some of you may have noticed that I'm not using as much music in the On This Day segment as we used to. And there's a reason for that. YouTube doesn't like us using music clips. And I know and I've told a lot of you, don't use YouTube. Use another podcast app to listen to the show. But some of you are just very conveniently settled into YouTube. And if you use the Spreaker app or if you use Spotify or any of those apps, even Apple Podcast, you can get us without having to worry about being blocked. We're still seeing blocks on YouTube on some of our podcasts because they try to claim it's copyright. I just go along with it because, quite frankly, the bulk of our listening is through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And even Spreaker. We don't have a lot of listeners on YouTube, but we appreciate those that do listen. So if you want to make sure you're always getting a show, use a different app. And I just say that just to make it very clear. If you're wondering why I'm not playing, because I was going to play Andy Gibbs, a 16-second clip of Andy Gibbs, I Just Want to Be Your Everything. YouTube throws up blocks. What can I say? Anyway, Lucille Ball, Richard Denning, My Favorite Husband, is up first. The prequel to I Love Lucy. And it didn't start out to be, but it ended up being with the actors and producers of the show. If you listen to My Favorite Husband, you'll find many of them are actually duplicated on the television show. We're going to go back 75 years, March 10th, 1950, and hear Lucy next. Lucille Ball next, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Should public utilities fail in time of disaster, refrigerated foods must be either cooked or eaten before they spoil. If this can't be done, throw it away.
All right, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox gets underway with the shows here, and we'll have Lucille Ball and Richard Denning with an episode of My Favorite Husband. This goes back 75 years to March 10th, 1950.
It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball.
Jell-O, everybody.
Yes, it's the Gay Family series starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning, transcribed and brought to you by the Jell-O family of desserts.
J-E-L-L. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O puddings. Yum, yum, yum. Jell-O tapioca puddings, yes, sirree.
And now Lucille Ball with Richard Denning as Liz and George Cooper, two people who live together and like it. As we look in on the Coopers tonight, we see a story unfolding. A story that started last week when the Coopers and the Atterberrys had a discussion on the proposed constitutional amendment granting women equal rights. Liz said,
Iris and I demand equal rights. We want to be treated just as though we were men.
Iris said,
Yeah!
Mr. Atterbury, George's boss, said,
All right, Liz, boy. George and I are tired of earning a living. Starting tomorrow, you two can go out and earn the money, and we'll stay home and watch after the house.
George said,
Yeah!
Liz said,
Okay, that's a deal, and I want this house spotless.
Yes, sir. I'll tell Katie, just like you do. Anything else?
Yes, I want dinner ready on time.
Yes, sir. I'll tell Katie. Anything else?
Yes, roll up your sleeves and put on your apron. It's Katie's day off.
Oh, gad! I suppose it's Hilda's day off, too.
Yeah!
And now it's the morning of the great experiment. George, the housewife, is cooking breakfast, while Liz, the wage earner, is seated at the table, her head buried in the newspaper, waiting to give George the same kind of treatment that he gives her every morning.
Here's your coffee, dear. Well, is it all right?
Yes, dear.
Put that paper down and talk to me.
Oh, no. I've waited too long for this moment. How do you like speaking to the back page of a newspaper?
All right. Now, you've had your fun. Is the breakfast all right?
No, the coffee's miserable. It's much too strong.
How do you know? You haven't even tasted it.
I don't have to taste it. I can see how strong it is.
How?
George, when you drop a lump of sugar in a cup of coffee, it's supposed to sink.
Oh, there's Mr. Atterbury. I'm late for work.
Hey, tighten your bathrobe, Buster. That's Mrs. Atterbury, and I'm late. Goodbye, dear.
Liz? Aren't you going to kiss me goodbye?
Oh, here. Now have dinner ready on time and have enough because I may bring home some company, and you know how I always forget to call. Goodbye, George. Hi, Iris.
Hi, fellow businessman.
Well, we're off to make a living.
Yeah. What's the first thing we do?
Let's go someplace and have breakfast.
Couldn't you eat anything that George fixed either?
Ha! He boiled the bacon, burned the eggs, and the coffee was so thick I couldn't get my spoon out of it.
You're lucky. Rudolph staggered downstairs with his eyes closed, opened a box of steel wool instead of breakfast food, covered it with a rotten banana, said here, and went back to bed.
Come on, let's go eat. Want another donut, Iris?
Oh, no, thanks. If we expect to get a job, we better start looking through the want ads.
Okay.
Here it is. Help wanted. Beauty operator, accountant, dental technician, registered nurse.
How do you like that? Apparently you can't get a job unless you know how to do something.
It's just like you said, Liz. Women don't have equal rights.
Not even with other women.
Oh, here's one. We need women.
Oh, we can do that.
There's more.
Oh.
We need women. No experience necessary. Must be attractive and... under 25.
Oh, that lets you out, doesn't it?
Lets me out. What about you?
Oh, I wouldn't take the job without you, Iris.
Elizabeth Cooper, are you trying to tell me you're under 25? Me, who's known you since the first year you were 28?
Well, I meant I could pass as 25.
Well, if you could, I could. Let's go down and try out for the job. What is it?
Let's see. Living statues at the Follies Theater.
Well, what else is there?
Hey, what are we looking at the want ads for? George always says that smart people go in business for themselves. Let's open our own Follies Theater.
Well, I don't think the town could support two of them.
Well, ours will be different. We'll have chorus boys instead of chorus girls. And the first row will be reserved for bald-headed women.
Liz.
What?
No.
Why not?
I just had a quick vision of Rudolph as a living statue. Now, look, Liz, it's 10 o'clock and we haven't earned a dime.
Oh, here's an ad for an employment agency.
Well, what's it say?
Ready to go to work? Need a job? Unemployment insurance run out? We'll put you on a payroll. We haven't missed in 25 years.
Well, come on, Liz, let's go there.
Okay, but I have a feeling we're going to spoil a beautiful record.
Hello?
Hello? This is Mary Margaret McAtterbury. Is Prudence Cooper home?
Speaking.
How are you doing with the housework, boy?
That's not too bad. The toughest job so far was the breakfast dishes. They took forever.
Funny, mine only took me a couple of seconds.
You have an electric dishwasher?
No, I was carrying them in from the breakfast room and I tripped.
It wasn't Iris's good china, was it?
No. Some old stuff she hardly ever uses called Haviland.
Well, that was lucky for you. Say, have you done your laundry yet?
No, I was sort of afraid to try. Have you?
Yeah, there's nothing to it. I washed out a few of Liz's dainties.
Well, how did they turn out?
Oh, pretty good, but I think I got too much starch in the petticoats.
Oh? How can you tell?
Well, when I try to fold them, they break in half.
That's an indication.
Yeah, so I only put half as much starch in her silk stockings.
Are you supposed to put starch in stockings?
Oh, sure, it works great. Oh, you don't even have to hang them up. You just stand them in a corner.
Well, look, Prudence, I have to go. There's someone at the door.
I'll call you later, dearie. Do that, hon. Bye.
Good morning, ladies. Welcome to the Sheridan Falls Employment Agency. Have a chair. You wish to hire someone?
No, we're looking for a job.
Oh, go over there and fill out a form.
Boy, it sure got cold in here all of a sudden. What kind of jobs do you have open?
What do you do?
What kind of jobs do you have open?
What do you do?
What kind of jobs do you have open?
You go first this time.
All right, what do you do?
What kind of jobs do you have? No!
The only thing we ask is that we work together.
All right, but tell me what you do. If you're stenographers, maybe I can find someone with a big lap and you can each sit on one knee.
Well, what kind of jobs do you have open?
Gee, I wish I'd said that.
Well, let's try to get some facts down. What are your names?
Don't give your real name, Liz.
What's your name? Well, don't you know your name?
I'll get it. I know it as well as I know my... Oh, no, that doesn't make sense. Bridget McGonigal.
Bridget How do you spell that?
M. O'Brien. My mother married again.
Huh? And what's your name?
McGonigal.
Iris.
Iris McGonigal?
Well, all right.
Don't do me any favors.
You see, she's a half-sister by my first mother's second husband.
Nice going, Liz.
So far, we have Liz Bridget McGonigal O'Brien and Iris McGonigal. Now, what are your qualifications?
What
jobs do you have
open?
Let's try it this way. What was your last job?
With Mr. George Cooper. I haven't left yet.
What do you do for Mr. Cooper?
Well, it's a very interesting job. I sleep late, and then I come downstairs, and the maid gives me breakfast, and I loll around the house till he comes home, and then we go out together.
And why do you want to make a change?
No chance for advancement.
Yes. I have very few jobs like that, but I'll tell you what. You go over to the blackboard. We list all the available positions there. Now, if you find something you can do, let me know.
Gee. Look, Liz, there are lots of jobs listed. Short order cook?
No.
Western Union boy?
I can't ride a bicycle.
Japanese gardener?
Oh, so sorry. Would get hands all dirty.
Electrician? Carpenter? Steam fitter?
What's a steam fitter do?
I don't know. I guess he fits steam.
That's funny. I didn't even know steam came in sizes. Well, we'll find something. Shoe salesman, furniture repairman for moving company, plumber's helper, deep sea diver.
Well, if Liz turns into the breadwinner of the family, I guess George better take up housework and cooking. And I can give him many a helpful hint on swell things to eat. For instance, here's a honey of a new dessert so easy even George could make it. It's called Honey Jell-O, and here's what you do. Use any of those 6 delicious Jell-O flavors: strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, or lime. Dissolve in 2 cups of hot water, add 1 tablespoon of honey, and chill. Garnish with whipped cream sweetened with honey. It's a delectable combination. Fruit-like, shimmering Jell-O flavored with golden honey and topped with foamy whipped cream. That wonderful locked-in flavor of Jell-O tastes so rich and refreshing, it makes you think of the real ripe fruit. And that's why Jell-O is America's favorite gelatin dessert. So look for those big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O, and Jell-O spells a treat. That name is a registered trademark of General Foods. J-E-L-L-O. And now back to Lucille Ball in My Favorite Husband. As we return to the Coopers, we find our two intrepid would-be wage earners still reading off the list of available jobs on the employment agency blackboard.
Exterminator.
Tombstone cutter.
Lighthouse keeper. That might be something.
What are you talking about?
Well, when we got married, George and I set up lighthouse keeping.
This is no time for forced humor.
All right, all right.
Streetcar conductor.
Master of ceremonies for laundromat.
Cabinet maker's apprentice. Drooler for front of donut window.
You're still here?
Yeah, we haven't found anything we can do, but it's certainly fascinating reading.
You know, I do have a job where I can use both of you.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a cinch. All you have to do is just stand absolutely still.
What is it, a television commercial for Forest Lawn?
No, it's with a carnival, part of a knife-throwing act.
What part?
Now listen, you wanted a job. Where else can you get $10 a day for letting a guy miss you with knives?
Iris?
No.
But the man's an expert. I've done business with him for years.
See, Iris?
I send him 3 or 4 girls a week.
Come on, Iris, back to the blackboard. Tailor, steeplejack, coal miner, fish breeder, toupee maker, die caster, cast dyer, snake charmer.
Hello?
Mary Margaret? This is Prudence again.
Well, make it snappy, Prue. I'm making spaghetti, and I'm up to my waist in paste.
Do you know anything about rice?
I remember it was thrown at me on one of the darkest days of my life.
No, I don't mean that. I'm boiling some rice for dinner, and I don't know if I put enough in.
Well, how much did you use?
A 1-pound package.
For 2 of you?
Huh.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I guess it swells up a little. Hey, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Something's pushing the kitchen door open. Holy cow, it's the rice!
Oh, it can't be.
It is. Our kitchen looks like Sun Valley.
Hold it back, boy. I'll be right over. Oh, and I'll bring some raisins.
Raisins? What for?
Well, if we can't clean it up, we'll make the biggest rice pudding you've ever seen.
Xylophonist, zither maker, pin feather plucker in chicken factory. Oh, it's no use, Liz. We won't get a job. We'll just have to go home and eat crow.
You think that's what they fix for dinner?
You girls still here? Look, why don't you go home, and if anything comes up, pardon me. Sheridan Falls Employment Agency.
Say, we've had a little accident. Could you send a house cleaning crew out right away?
Well, I've only got one of my regular cleaning ladies, but wait a minute. Hey, you two.
Yes?
I think I may have a job for you.
We'll take it.
Sure, what is it?
General housework, part of a crew of cleaning ladies.
Housework? I could have stayed home and done that.
Iris, we can't be choosy. We've got to make some money today or we'll never hear the end of it.
Well,
We'll take it.
Good. I'll send you out with one of my regulars. Hello?
Yes?
Oh, you're in luck, mister. 2 more of our best scrub ladies just checked in.
Good. The address is 321 Bundy Drive.
They're on their way right now.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, you two, it's all set. I'll call Blanche and you can get going.
Who's Blanche?
Oh, she's one of our best cleaning women, a sweet, lovable character. You get along fine. She's got her own car.
What are you yelling for? You deaf or something? Well, here's the place, 321 Bundy Drive.
Iris, it's my house. We can't go in there, Blanche. We quit.
You what?
We quit. Yeah, get someone else.
Now, look, sister, I need the dough from this job, and if you don't work, I don't work. You're coming in with me, or else.
Or else what?
Or else you'll be wearing an off-the-face scrub bucket in the Easter parade.
Well, if you're going to use logic.
Liz, maybe Rudolph and George aren't here.
Oh, come to think of it, Iris, I wonder what's happened that they have to have someone clean it up.
They said they'd leave the side door open.
See? There's nobody here, thank goodness. Well, come on, let's hurry and get it done.
Oh, what's the rush? I like to look around when I get in a strange house.
Oh, I don't imagine you very often get into a house like this, huh, Blanche?
No, I should say not. It's a real eyesore, ain't it?
What?
Can you imagine having to live with this stuff?
Yes, I can.
Well, if you don't know no better. Yeah, we're supposed to start in the... Look at that mess.
What is it?
It looks like rice. Oh, it is rice. All the way into the middle of the dining room.
Oh, what kind of a pig would keep a sty like this?
I'll tell you what kind of a...
Now, Liz, please, let's get this finished and get out of here.
Oh, all right.
What was that?
Those stockings in the kitchen fell over. They were standing up.
The cleaning women must be here, George.
I hope so.
Oh, they're here. Hand me a brush. I'll start scrubbing under this table.
Okay.
On the carpet?
I don't have time to go anyplace else.
Neither do I. I'll help you, Liz. Move over.
Here, scrape some rice over my way. Give me some rice.
Now listen, you two. That's
Hello there. You must be the cleaning women, eh?
Yep, I'm Blanche.
Well, look, we want this all cleaned up. See, if our wives find out about it, they'll kill us.
He can say that again.
Now, after you get through here, go over to my house. I came over to help him with the rice, and I left the iron on. The fireman left quite a mess.
Burn the ironing board, huh?
Well, I couldn't find the ironing board. I was using the top of the piano.
Well, don't worry. We'll clean it up for you.
We?
Oh, yeah, me and my two assistants. They're down on their hands and knees. You can just see them sticking out from under the table.
Iris!
Iris?
Certainly. I recognize her shoes.
Liz? Liz Cooper, is that you?
What's going on around here? Speak up, you two.
Oh, so very good rice. Very good. Clean them up quick, chop, chop. Oh, you bet. You bet. Hot kimono.
Iris, and I do mean lotus bud.
Liz, come out from there.
Nobody here but us Chinese club ladies.
Yep. Grab those legs, George.
I got him.
Come on. Out you come, Iris. Come on.
Rudolph.
There. Now, Ming Toy, what's going on?
What about that rice, George Cooper?
A fine way for you to act, Iris.
I didn't burn any holes in the piano.
Yeah, at least we were working.
Yes.
Well, that was an
That's more than
accident.
you
I was
were
trying to
doing
reason
down
mine.
there.
We really
Now,
tried
wait. Just a minute. This is no way to act. Fighting and trying to deceive each other. As a matter of fact, George and I decided something this afternoon.
What?
Well, tell him, George.
Well, we don't like doing housework.
Well, as long as we're being honest, Iris and I aren't exactly crazy about earning the living either. It's tough.
Well, shall we go back the way we were?
Okay by me.
Hey, wait a minute. What about equal rights for women?
Kiss me, master.
Hey, come here, slave.
Same thing go for us, Iris?
You know it does.
Kiss me, master.
slave.
What about me, master? Clean up the rice, slave.
Yes, Lucille, where do we travel tonight?
No place, Robert. We stay right here and interview a lady wrestler. A little lady wrestling music, maestro.
Here's the dressing room of Leaping Lucy, the lady wrestler I'm supposed to interview.
Hello there.
Hello. I'm here on behalf of General Foods.
Say, you're cute. Wanna wrestle?
No, you see, I have to interview you.
Come here, you. Oh, boy, you fracture me.
Now, about this interview.
Wanna wrestle?
Now, just a minute. What about General Foods?
Well, what about him? I'll wrestle him anytime. Bring him on.
No, I'm talking about our radio interview. Now, I'll start by saying, Lucy, they tell me you train exclusively on Jell-O.
I don't think you'll get a laugh with it.
Well, nevertheless, that's the first line. After that, what do you say?
Duh. Wanna wrestle?
No, now look, here's your script. Read it. Can you read?
Why, sure. Let's see now. J-E-L-L-O.
All right, what does that spell?
That's a tough one, ain't it?
It's Jell-O.
Oh, Jell-O. Oh, Jell-O comes in 6 delicious flavors.
Berry.
Raspberry.
Now, what comes next?
Cherry berry. Cherry berry sounds like a song. Cherry berry bean. Why don't you sing it? Don't mind if I do. Cherry berry bean. Cherry berry bean.
Look, wait a minute. Lucy.
What?
Look, it's strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime.
Oh.
All right, what's next?
Let's wrestle.
No, it continues like this. Jell-O is so good, it makes you think of the real ripe fruit itself.
Is that so?
And the flavor is locked in. The flavor is locked in, so it can't get out till your first delicious spoonful.
No.
Then we finish up. Look for the big red letters on the what?
Big red letters on the what? And they think I'm punchy.
I'm asking you, look for the big red letters on the...
I give up.
Box!
No, let's wrestle.
You have been listening to My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning. Watch for the April issue of Radio Mirror magazine, the one with the big picture of Lucille Ball on the cover. It tells the details of an exciting new My Favorite Husband contest. Get Radio Mirror for April. And be sure to listen to Lucille Ball and My Favorite Husband again next week, presented by
J-E-L-L. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O pudding. Yum, yum, yum. Jell-O tapioca puddings, yes, sirree.
Bob Lamont speaking.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
75 years ago, May 10th, 1950, My Favorite Husband here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Let's move up a year and head to Riverdale and see what's going on with Archie Andrews.
In time of disaster, natural or nuclear, medical aid may not be available. That's why one member of each family should take a Red Cross first aid or home nursing course now.
We continue on this funny Monday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of The Adventures of Archie Andrews. And given that a lot of people are looking at taxes, this is a tax time episode. Of course, back in 1951, taxes were still due on March 15th. That would be a few years later before that time would move. But this episode from March 10th, 1951, 74 years ago.
Hello? Hello, Jughead. This is Archie. Come over right away. It's a matter of life or death. Oh, relax, Archie. Relax.
Yes, here he is again, the youngster millions of readers of Archie Comics magazine know and love so well, Archie Andrews and all his gang. And now for our weekly visit to Riverdale. It's late Saturday morning as we look in on the Andrews home, and we find Mr. Andrews in the living room seated at his desk, just completing a job that millions of American fathers had to do this week. He's making out his income tax report.
And that's that. Wow. I thought I'd never get it finished. I'd make these forms any more complicated. It'd be simpler not to earn any money at all. Ooh, and this check, it hurts my wallet just to look at it. Oh, well, tax has got to be paid. I'll just sign this form. Put the check in with the form. There. I'll put it in the envelope. And yeah. And it's over and done with. Mary!
Yes, dear.
Well, finally finished.
Finished with what?
With what I've been working on all morning, of course, my income tax.
Oh, that. Fred, I'm much too busy to talk about little things like income taxes.
Little things like income taxes. Mary, if you saw the size of the check I just had to write to Uncle Sam, you wouldn't think it was little. Well, you know how much I had to...
Yes, dear, yes, but I'm in a hurry right now. I'm going to the Woman's League luncheon today.
Yes, dear. But if you knew how much
I promised Mrs. Lodge I'd get there early and help the committee.
But if you knew how much
And I'm late now, and I still have to put my hat on.
But if you knew how much
So I can't possibly stand around discussing income taxes now, or I'll never get to that luncheon.
Mary, don't you want to know how much I had to pay?
Later, dear, when I get back from the luncheon.
Oh, all right, Mary, all right. Go to your old luncheon. Is Archie home?
He should be up in his room, Fred, and please stop calling me. I'm busy.
Yes, dear. She's busy. Archie! Archie? Archie!
Dad, is somebody calling me?
Oh, great. No, Archie, no. Somebody is not calling you. I am calling you.
Oh, you?
Yes, come down here, please.
Oh, okay, Dad, I'll be right there.
That boy, you scream your head off for him, and he says, "Is somebody calling me?" Oh, I don't know.
Hiya, Dad. What did you want?
Archie, I want you to do me a favor. Go mail this letter to the tax collector.
Gee whiz, Dad, now?
Yes, Archie, now. It'll just
Gee whiz,
take
Dad,
me...
I don't want to go way down to the post office
But
now.
I-
All morning long, I've done nothing but run errands. I had to
Archie,
go to the store twice for Mom,
I wa-
3 times for myself, and then
But
I had
I
to
wa-
put all the papers in the tin cans out for the garbage man, and then I went...
All right. I understand that you've had to go to the store half a dozen times. But this is my income tax, and it's very important. And it's got to be mailed right away. Now, you don't have to take it to the post office. Just take it down to the corner mailbox. And I won't ask you to run any more errands after this.
Promise?
Cross my heart and hope to die.
Well, it's a deal, Dad. I'll go mail the letter.
Thank you. Oh, but Archie...
Yes, Dad?
Don't stop and get into any ball games now, or lose that letter or anything. It's important, so get it mailed.
I will, Dad. I will.
Oh, that boy. Getting him to do anything is just like...
I'm all set to go, dear. But, Fred, is this new hat look all right?
Yes, dear, it looks lovely. New hat. Mary, another new hat?
Yes, dear. Do you like it?
Mary, I like it, love it, and adore it, but I can't afford it.
Can't afford it. Fred, I had to have something decent to wear to this luncheon.
Mary,
Every other woman will be there with a new dress and a new
Mary,
hat.
I-
But I suppose you want me to go dressed in old rags.
Mary,
I don't care what I look like in public.
Mary! All right, dear, I understand. I do not want you to go dressed in old rags, and I do like you to look well in public. All I'm saying is that you spend entirely too much money on hats.
Oh, is that so? Well, how much do you think I've spent on hats in the past year?
About $500 at least. Good grief.
Oh, Fred, what is it?
$500. I forgot all about it.
Fred, I don't spend anywhere near that.
Mary, I know. I'm not talking about your hats. I'm talking about my income tax.
Income tax?
Yes, I just remembered that we gave $500 to churches and charities this year, and I forgot to deduct it from my income.
Are you supposed to?
Yes. You certainly are supposed to make every deduction that you're entitled to. And we gave that money to legitimate charities. And that's a tax-deductible item that would have saved me at least $50 in taxes.
And you forgot about it.
I not only forgot about it, I just sent Archie out to mail the return. Oh, boy, $50 out of the window. $50 beautiful dollars. Oh, well,
Fred, where are you going?
I'm going to try to catch Archie. If he stopped to talk to somebody like he usually does, maybe I can catch him before he mails that form and save myself $50.
Well, Dad, I mailed your letter.
What? Archie! Archie, tell me you didn't.
Huh?
Archie, please tell me you forgot to mail it. Or you mailed the wrong letter. Or it's still in your pocket or something.
Gee whiz, Dad, you yourself told me to get it mailed right away, so I did.
Oh, no. $50 lost and gone forever.
Huh?
I just remembered a deduction I could have taken that would have saved me at least $50. But now it's too... Hey, wait a minute.
Well, what's the matter?
Nothing's the matter. I just thought of a way I may be able to get that letter back.
How? It's in the mailbox now.
I know it, Archie, but we could go down there and wait for the mail pickup truck to get there, and maybe if I explain things to the mailman, he'll give me the letter back. Come on, Archie.
But, Fred, who knows when the truck will get there? You may have to wait hours.
Mary, for $50, I'd wait all night if I had to.
Not so fast, Dad, not so fast.
Archie, I don't want to miss that pickup truck.
But, Dad, they always come past our house. We'd have seen them if they were here.
I know. I'm still not taking any chances. I'm missing that truck.
Well, Dad, here's the mailbox, and the truck isn't even in sight yet.
Oh, good. We made it. Now, Archie, look at the little card on the front of the mailbox and see what time it says the mail is picked up on Saturdays.
Gee whiz, Dad, there's no card here.
There isn't? Oh, fine. Well, I guess there's nothing to do but settle down for a nice quiet wait. That's all.
Hello.
Oh, good grief. Jughead.
What'd you expect? The Pony Express?
No, Jughead, I did not expect the Pony Express, nor you either.
Gee whiz, Jug, what are you doing here?
I just came down to mail my father's income tax form and an empty envelope for my Uncle Herman.
An empty envelope for your Uncle Herman?
Yeah, no income.
Oh, great. Jughead, I am in no mood for your jokes right now. I've got to get a letter back.
Huh?
I came down to this mailbox to get a letter.
You came down to the mailbox to get a letter?
That's right.
Mr. Andrews, do you feel all right?
Jughead, look, what my father means is I just mailed his income tax form, and then he remembered he made a mistake in it, and now he wants to get the letter back.
That's right. In fact, I've got to get it back.
Gee, I don't blame you. Income tax evasion is a serious offense.
Well, Jug,
They gave Al Capone 11 years, you know.
Jughead,
When you get out, it's pretty tough to get a job.
Jug, please.
And you're not as young as you used to be.
Jughead, all right. Will you please stop putting me in prison?
Huh?
I did not make that kind of a mistake on my income tax. I paid the government more than I should have.
More than you should have?
Yes, $50 more than I should have.
Gee whiz, that's pretty silly.
Yes, Jughead, what?
Don't you know the value of money?
Yes, Jug,
Nobody goes around paying $50 more than they're supposed to.
Jug,
You'll never get rich doing things like that.
Jughead, I know that. And I know the value of money and that it was silly, and I do not need any lectures from you on the subject. The whole thing was an accident. You understand? I didn't mean to do it. And that's why I want to get the letter back.
Oh, I see.
I'm glad you do.
But how are you going to get a letter out of the mailbox?
I'm going to wait until the...
You can't even get your hand inside this slot.
I know, Jughead. I'm going to wait...
See, I can hardly get more than my fingers in there.
Jughead, what are you doing now? Get your hand out of that mailbox. You're not allowed to tamper with the mail. It's a federal offense. Now get your hand out of there before somebody sees you.
Gee whiz, Mr. Andrews, I would if I could.
All right. For a minute, I thought you said, you would if you could. Jughead, what are you talking about?
My fingers, they're stuck in there.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, Jughead, how the dickens did you do that?
I don't know. They went in okay, but they won't come out.
Oh. Now he's done it. Jughead,
Trapped like a rat in a rat trap.
Jughead, don't
like a bear in a bear trap.
Jughead, please.
Like a male in a mailbag. Get me out of here.
Jughead, will you please be quiet?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You're not trapped like a rat. You're trapped like a foolish kid who put his hand in the mailbox. Now, if you'll just calm down, we'll get your hand out of there.
I'm calm.
Now, maybe if I take hold of his wrist and try to pull his fingers out.
Hey, that's a good idea, Dad.
Yeah, but don't break my wrist now.
Jughead, if I break anything, it will be after we get your hand out of this mailbox. How you ever got your fingers stuck in there, I'll never know. Even an idiot, even a moron, even a madman could know better than to catch his fingers in a mailbox slot. Good grief.
What's the matter, Dad?
Oh, I caught my fingers in there, too.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no, Dad, how did you do that?
Archie, how do I know how I did that?
Hey, Mr.
I
Andrews.
was just trying to get Jughead's hand out, and I got my hand stuck.
Mr. Andrews.
And don't ask so many foolish questions. Think of some way to get me out of here.
Mr. Andrews.
Hurry up before a policeman sees me and throws me in jail or something.
Mr. Andrews.
Well, what is it, Jughead?
I got my hand out.
I know that, and I'm very glad you got your hand out.
Uh-huh. See? 2 hands.
Oh, great. Jughead, how did you do that?
I pulled the slot down a little, and my hand came right out.
It worked. Well, my hand is out.
Oh, boy, that's swell, Dad. For a minute, I was afraid you'd be stuck there for hours.
Oh, Archie, so was I. But the fact is, we're unstuck now, and before anything else happens, I want to make it clear to both you kids, I want no more shenanigans from either one of you. Now, you understand? I want no more lectures or advice or demonstrations with mailboxes. We are just going to wait right here until that pickup truck comes along and nothing else. Now, you hear?
Yes, Dad.
Yes, Mr. Andrews. But, Mr. Andrews,
Yes, Jughead.
the pickup truck won't be here for hours.
How do you know that?
Because it was here just a minute before you and Archie got here.
Yes, Jughead, I know perfectly well that it was here before we got here. Jughead, are you sure?
Positive. I had to run like the dickens to catch it and took all the letters and drove off.
Took all the letters of Jughead, you know something.
Yes, Mr. Andrews?
It's a good thing for you this mailbox is so small, because if it weren't, I'd put a stamp on you and mail you off to the North Pole. Special delivery.
Gee, I'm sorry. I didn't remember about the pickup truck sooner, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, Jug, forget it. That truck won't get to the post office much before we do, and maybe we can still talk him into giving me that letter back.
Oh, there's the post office now, Dad.
Good. Come on. We have to get in there and get that letter back before it gets dumped in with millions of others and gets shipped out of town.
Archie!
Gee whiz, there's Betty.
Oh, fine. Archie, we have no time to talk to Betty now, so...
Hello, Archie. Hello, Jack. Hello, Mr.
Hi,
Andrews.
Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Hello, Betty. Now, Betty, look, we're in a little hurry right now. I have to get a letter back to the post office right away. So would you just come along and not stop to talk to us right now?
But
It's very important. I want to catch that letter before it gets shipped out. So just come along like a good girl, and you can talk to Archie and Jughead after we get the letter back.
But, Mr. Andrews, the post office is closed.
Closed? It can't be.
But it is. I just came down here to buy some stamps, but it was closed when I got here.
Gee whiz, that's right, Dad. The post office always closes at 12 o'clock on Saturdays.
Gee, that's right.
Oh, no. I have to get that letter back. It's worth $50 to me, and you don't find that kind of money in the street.
No, you find it in the post office.
Jughead, this is no time for your jokes.
Golly, Mr. Andrews, I have an idea.
Yeah?
Maybe there's someone still working in there, even if the front door is locked. Lots of times they work in the back room sorting out the mail, even after the front part is closed.
Hey, that's right.
By George, it is.
So maybe if we went around to the back, you could get someone to open up and find your letter for you.
Betty, that's a wonderful idea. Come on, kids. We'll go around the back and make them open up the post office. Betty, I'm glad you suggested that.
Oh, it wasn't anything, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, yes, it was. It might be worth $50 to me. Yes, sir. I'll just go knock on the back door and make them fine.
What's the matter, Dad?
Archie, this fence is the matter.
Fence. Oh, boy.
And those gates the trucks go through are locked.
They certainly are. They're a lot tighter than tight.
But how do the trucks deliver the mail?
Betty, I haven't any idea unless each driver has a key to these gates and he unlocks it when he drives up.
Gee whiz, then how are you going to get to that back door?
The vaguest idea of that, either.
Well, I have another good idea, Mr. Andrews.
Betty, there's no idea that's going to get rid of this iron fence.
Oh, this one will, Mr. Andrews. Why don't you have Archie and Jughead boost you over?
Boost? You mean climb the fence and then go knock on the back door?
Uh-huh.
Betty, that is a good idea.
Oh, gee whiz, Dad, I don't think you better try that.
Archie, for $50, I'd try anything. Now, look, you and Jug are going to boost me over this fence right now. Jug, you take one foot. Archie, you take the other.
Well, okay, Dad. Got it.
All right.
Got the
All right. Okay, now lift. Lift. Hey! Hey! Just a little higher. A little higher. Got it. Okay, let go now. Now jump down the other side. Oh, I made it.
Attaboy, Dad.
Attaboy, Mr. Andrews.
You kids wait right there now while I go to try the back door.
Okay, Dad, but hurry up.
It'll just take a minute, Archie. Hey there! Open up! Oh, God grief.
What's the matter, Dad?
There's no one in there.
Golly, are you sure?
I'm positive. I can see the entire back room and there's no one in there. We went to all this trouble for nothing.
Gee whiz, now what do we do?
Actually, there's only one thing left to do, and I'm getting just mad enough to do it. I'm going to get out of here and go straight to the postmaster's house and make him open the post office and find my letter for me.
Gee, do you think he will?
He'd better. After all, I'm a taxpayer like anybody else, and I have some rights. Yes, sir. I'll get out of here and we'll go see the postmaster.
How?
What do you mean, how? In my car. That's how.
I don't mean that. I mean, how are you going to get out of there?
Exactly the same way I got out of here. Oh, no. There's nobody here to boost me back up.
Oh, boy, we never thought of that.
Oh, golly. You're stuck again.
Archie, can you get your arms through the fence to boost me up?
Oh, not a chance, Dad. These bars are too close together.
Yeah? You look like a monkey in the zoo.
Now, listen to me, you kids. Now, think of something quick. This is ridiculous. I can't stay locked up in this backyard of the post office. I've got to get out of here.
Well, Mr. Andrews, I have another good idea.
Yes, Betty, what is it?
If Jug had boosted Archie over,
Yes?
then Archie could boost you back out.
And then who'd boost me back out?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Well, think of something.
Wait, I have another idea.
Yes?
If Jug boosts Archie over there,
Yes?
and Archie boosts you out,
Yes, yes.
and then you could boost Jug over there with Archie.
Yes, yes.
Then Jug would boost Archie out.
Who'll get me out?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, Betty, that's no good either. Come on, you kids. Think of something.
Dad,
I can't stay in here all day.
Dad,
this is government property.
Dad,
I'll get arrested for trespassing or something.
Dad,
Well, what is it, Archie?
Well, I just noticed something.
What did you notice?
Well, you see way down the fence, that little gate where the post office employees go in and out?
Yes, I see it. What about it?
It's wide open.
I see that. It's wide open.
Oh, boy. Golly, it is open.
You mean to say I've been climbing this fence like a monkey for no reason at all?
Gee, it looks that way, Dad.
Well, that's fine. That's great. But, Betty.
Yes, Mr. Andrews?
If you get any more good ideas, do me a favor. Tell them to somebody else.
Golly, I'm sorry I caused all that trouble back at the post office, Mr. Andrews.
Oh, look, Betty, let's just forget about the post office. We have the postmaster's home address now, and the main thing is to go to see him, convince him to open the post office for me and find my letter.
Gee, do you think he will, Dad?
He might if I can explain the situation to him.
I think it's the next house, Mr. Andrews.
Yeah, you're right, Jughead, it is.
Gee whiz. This is just around the corner from Veronica's house, Dad.
Archie, I am not interested in Veronica right now. I want to see the postmaster and...
Archie Andrews!
Oh, boy, there's Veronica now.
Now, Archie, look, I don't want to stop and talk to her now. Ask her to...
Mr. Andrews. Hello, Betty. Hello, Jughead.
Hello, Veronica.
And, hello, Archie.
Oh, fine. Look, Archie...
Hi, all Archiekins.
Archie, I want...
It's awful nice to see you all, Archie. Dear.
Archie, would you please stop that confounded giggling?
My goodness, is something the matter, Mr. Andrews?
No, Veronica, nothing is the matter. But I've got to see the postmaster right away, and according to the telephone book, he lives at this address.
Oh, that's right, he does. But I happen to
That's
know...
all I wanted to know. Now, you kids wait right here, and I'll go up and ring the bell.
But, Mr. Andrews,
There's no point in a whole herd of us dropping in a man.
But, Mr. Andrews,
Veronica, I'm sure whatever you have to tell me can wait till later. I want to get this letter business settled once and for all. Now, you kids wait right here.
But, Mr. Andrews, look at that sign.
Veronica, I'm not interested in any sign.
But it says beware of the dog.
Veronica, I can read just as well as you can, and I know perfectly well that sign says, beware of the dog. What dog?
That dog.
Oh, boy, what a beast.
Oh, golly, run, Mr. Andrews. Run.
Get away, boy. Get away.
Climb up that tree. Climb the tree, Mr.
Climb the
Andrews.
tree, Daddy. Can't reach you there.
Get away, boy. Get away.
Keep climbing, Dad. Keep climbing. Keep climbing.
Attaboy, Mr. Andrews. Are you safe now?
Oh, boy, he can't reach you now, Dad. You're safe.
Oh, I'm safe, am I? You call hanging here like a monkey wrapped around a flagpole being safe? That monster's just waiting for me to slip. Get rid of that dog.
But how, Dad?
I don't know. Call him.
Oh, okay, Dad. Here, boy. Here, boy.
Maybe it's a girl.
Don't be quiet. Get that dog away from me.
Archie, quick, get a stone.
What for?
To throw over in those bushes. If he's a good watchdog, he'll go rushing over there to see what the noise is, and your father can get back out here.
Hey, that's a good idea, Veronica. Hold on, Dad.
Here's a stone, Archie.
Thanks, Betty. Here goes. Go get it, boy. Go get it. Hey, hurry up down, Dad. Get down off that tree.
I am.
And close the gate after you.
Oh, boy, safe at last.
Oh, my goodness, you sure were lucky. Golly, I'll say you were.
And how? One more minute and that beast would have had me. Veronica, would you mind explaining how come you live right around the corner and you didn't know there was a vicious dog here?
My goodness, Mr. Andrews, I did know it. That was one of the two things I was trying to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Veronica, did you say two things you were trying to tell me?
Uh-huh.
And what is the other one?
Well, the other is that I heard my mother say the postmaster is the guest speaker at the Women's League luncheon today. So he isn't even home.
Isn't even home? Oh, no.
Gee whiz, Dad, do you think we ought to bother the postmaster at this luncheon?
Look, Archie, after what I've been through already, I'm going to get that letter back now if it kills me.
And it might, too.
Jughead, I can do without your remarks.
But my goodness, Mr. Andrews, aren't you afraid you'll upset the whole luncheon?
No, Veronica, I will not upset any luncheon. I just want to get to the postmaster for a minute and ask him if he'll find my letter for me. If he says he will, then we'll wait around till the luncheon is over. If he says he won't, then we'll just go home and forget the whole thing.
Tickets, please.
Huh?
I said tickets, please.
Oh, tickets. Is this where the Women's League is having its luncheon?
That's right. Tickets are $10 apiece.
Yes, $10?
Yeah.
For a luncheon?
That's right. It's a fundraising affair.
Oh, fine. Well, look, mister, I don't want to raise any funds. I don't want any luncheon. I just want to talk to the postmaster for half a minute, and I'll come right out.
Sorry, I can't let anyone in without tickets. Them's my orders.
But this is an emergency. I'll only be in there half a minute.
Sorry, I can't let a mob like this go in there.
Oh, the kids aren't coming in with me. They'll wait here.
Just you going in?
That's right.
And you'll be right out?
I promise.
Well, all right. But don't let me catch you trying to eat any lunch without a ticket.
Oh, mister, lunch is the last thing I want right now.
Well, okay. Go ahead in.
All right, thanks a lot, mister. Wait there, kids.
Okay, Dad, hurry.
Gotta find that postmaster. Let's see now. Oh, good grief. Can that be he making the speech at the head table? Say, I'll bet it is he, all right.
Fred Andrews, what in the world are you doing here?
Mary, what are you doing here?
Well, this is the luncheon I was telling you about.
What on earth are you doing here?
I've got to see the postmaster.
Oh, for pity's sake. Well, sit down. He's speaking right now.
But, Mary, I can't stay here
Sit
too
down.
long.
People are starting to stare.
But the man said I couldn't...
Fred, sit down, please.
Oh, me, all right, Mary, all right. But will he be through soon? I can't stay very long.
I thought so.
Oh, the ticket taker. Mister, look.
I thought you looked like a gatecrasher.
Mister, I tell you, I
Fred,
didn't...
please, you're making a scene.
Dad, did you find him?
Archie,
Who let you kids in here?
Mister, please. Said we couldn't come in.
Jughead,
Oh, goodness, everyone's watching
Veronica,
us.
I
Sorry,
know.
we're upsetting everything.
Betty, stop.
Either buy tickets or leave.
Now, just a minute here. Just 1 minute. That's better. Now, listen to me, all of you. This nonsense has gone far enough, and I don't want to peep out of any one of you kids.
Yes, Dad.
Ladies, I am terribly sorry to have interrupted your luncheon like this. My humble apologies. I only wanted to see the postmaster on an important matter.
The postmaster? Freddie just left.
He just left?
Yes, he finished his speech and had to catch a plane to Washington.
Oh, no. Mary, let's get out of here quick.
I'd like nothing better. Come on, children.
I apologize, ladies. Excuse me. I'm very sorry. Terribly sorry.
Well, Fred, I've never been so embarrassed in all my life.
Gee, me too, Dad.
Me too.
Oh, Mary, I'm sorry. Believe me.
I should think so.
I never intended to cause such a scene. And it's all my own fault, and only my own fault. It all happened because I wanted to get that letter back and save $50. Well, I can see now it's been more trouble than it's worth. So, I'm just going to forget the whole thing.
Well, I wish I could. I'll be hearing about this for weeks.
Look, Mary, dear. I'll do anything I can to make this up to you. Yes, sir, Mary. You may even have another new hat.
Fred, I can?
You certainly can.
Oh, that's very sweet, Fred. Thank you.
It's all right, dear. It's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, now let's just go home and forget this whole thing ever happened.
Hey, Mr. Andrews, is that you?
Who's that?
Oh, gee whiz, it's Mr. Pringle, our mailman.
Our mailman?
Boy, this sure is lucky running into you over here, Mr. Andrews. Saved me a trip clear across town.
What will save you a trip?
Meeting you here. I was just going to your house to return this letter to the Income Tax Bureau. You forgot to put a stamp on it.
I forgot to put a stamp. The letter I've been chasing all afternoon? Oh,
no.
What is
The Andrews will be back in just a moment. But first, did you ever watch a building going up? Floor by floor, carefully, deliberately, systematically it grows until the roof is on and the job is done. Well, that's the way you can build your future with United States defense bonds. And while your future grows, you help build up our nation's defense. The simple way to buy these defense bonds is through the payroll savings plan. Your savings will build up before you know it when you use the payroll savings plan. Yes, join the payroll savings plan where you work. Or, if you happen to be self-employed, the bond-a-month plan where you bank. Defense bonds are profitable, safe, and sure. They make you a shareholder in the greatest country on earth. Now, if you can't participate in a regular plan, buy an extra bond now at any bank or post office. Remember, defense is your job. Buy United States defense bonds. And now back to the Andrews. It's an hour later, and the Andrews have returned home and recovered from the harrowing experience of chasing the letter that came back anyway. We find Mr. Andrews at his desk in the living room, just finishing his revised income tax as Mrs. Andrews enters.
Fred, I'm home.
Home? Mary, I didn't even know you were out.
Well, dear, you were so busy revising that income tax, I didn't want to bother you. So I just went downtown and bought that new hat you said I could have.
New hat? Mary, another new hat?
But Fred, you yourself told me to get it. And you can pay for it with the $50 you saved on your income tax.
Oh, Mary, that's just the trouble. I just refigured my income tax with that new deduction. I don't know how it happened, but I now owe $50 more than I did before.
You've been listening to another chapter of The Adventures of Archie Andrews, written by Carl Jampel and based on the copyrighted feature appearing in Archie Comics magazine. Archie is played by Bob Hastings, Jughead by Harlan Stone, Mom and Dad Andrews are played by Alice Sherman and Arthur Cole, Veronica and Betty by Gloria Mann and Rosemary Rice. Also in today's cast were Wendell Holmes, Nat Poland, and Donald Bade. This program is produced and directed by Kenneth McGregor. Listen next Saturday at the same time for more of the merry adventures of Archie Andrews. This is Dick Dudley wishing you a very pleasant weekend. So long, everybody.
Three chimes mean good times on NBC. There's music and mystery tonight on NBC. For music, your hit parade brings you the top tunes in the land, as selected by you and presented by Raymond Scott's orchestra, Eileen Wilson and Snooky Lanson. For mystery, Herbert Marshall stars as the man called X, an intrepid adventurer in international intrigue. Kids, enjoy Smile Ned McConnell's wonderful show today on NBC.
74 years ago, March 10th, 1951, The Adventures of Archie Andrews here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Our Tuesday show will have another 90-minute plunge with The Big Show starring Tallulah Bankhead and a whole bunch of special guests, Evelyn King, Billy Eckstein, Bob Burns, and there's even more. Get to that. Also, an episode of the Screen Guild Theater from 1946, Irish Eyes Are Smiling, starring Dick Hames and June Haber. And we'll wrap it all up with another episode of Claudia. That'll be on Tuesday. Wednesday, crime drama with The Whistler, Gunsmoke, Did Justice Triumph, The Adventures of Frank Merriwell, and a new episode, a new series of Superman stories. And then on Thursday, we will have, an episode of Suspense, a full hour. They will also have a full hour of the Lux Radio Theater and another episode of Lum and Abner. So that's all coming up in the next few days here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. But coming up in just a moment, Say the Secret Word, and Groucho will have the duck drop down.
During a national emergency, you may have to be your own fireman. Take the first step now. Remove all fire hazards in your home. Eliminate clutter. Store flammables in a safe place.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we're going to jump back 67 years to March 10th, 1958, and see what's going on with Groucho. Mr. Fenneman, what is the secret word?
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word is name. N-A-M-E.
Really?
You bet your life.
The National Broadcasting Company presents Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz show transcribed from Hollywood. Groucho meets our first contestants in just 1 minute.
This is Lester B. Granger, Executive Director of the National Urban League, which is an agency geared for constructive interracial action looking toward the welfare of our Negro population. After a quarter century in the Urban League, I have come especially to appreciate that organization representing individuals who believe in action rather than talk, and believe in action geared to helping people rather than merely exciting them. A solid example of an action movement is the American Red Cross. This is a great organization that does very little talking. In fact, you're asked to join only once a year. Yet, when action is necessary at any time, the Red Cross is always on the job. The recent past has witnessed an unprecedented number of disasters. The Red Cross is hard-pressed to stay on the job, and so I urge you to support the Red Cross by supporting your local chapter. Every dollar counts.
Here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra $100. George, who's first?
Well, Groucho, Louise Randall Pearson is waiting to talk to you now, and her partner is a special guest, a good friend of yours, Mr. Sammy Cahn.
Well...
So, folks, you men, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Sammy, glad to see you.
Glad to see you.
Glad to see you. We'd both be sued by Phil Silver. Sam here happens to be a very good fair-weather friend. Incidentally, he also happens to be one of the country's leading songwriters. Isn't that true, Sam?
Unquestionably.
He's also very modest. And you are Louise Randolph Pearson, huh?
Yes.
That's a very imposing moniker, Louise. Are you married?
No, I've been a widow for 10 years.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, what do you do for a living? How do you get along?
Oh, I write. I write a daily column for the Santa Monica Evening Outlook and a couple of feature articles a week about interesting personalities.
Would you like to quit working and try another crack at matrimony, Louise?
Well, I'll tell you, you know how it is. You sit around...
No, I absolutely don't know how it is.
Oh. Well, you sit around in the evening, and it's kind of lonesome, and you think, oh, if I only had somebody deductible beside me.
Ah, love is a proud and gentle thing. It's nice to know that the fair sex still places some value on a husband. Apparently, you consider a husband almost as important as a bad debt. Sammy, let's get back to you. What are some of the big smashes you've written?
Well, I've written songs like By Mir bist du schön.
You always write in German?
No, only when I'm stealing from a German.
Oh. What German was that you stole that from?
I never wanted to know his name, so he couldn't accuse me.
Wait a minute, you said the secret word. You said a secret word, which happens to be name, so you get $50, Louise. Woo. And Sammy, and I know you need this desperately, you get $50. Well, tell us.
She didn't like me when she met me.
She didn't? I don't believe that. Is this true, Louise?
No, I thought he was awfully serious, and I thought he knew so much more than I did that I wasn't going to have a chance.
Well, you're partners, you know.
Are we?
I didn't know that till she took the 50.
Well, tell us some of the other songs that...
Well, I wrote By Mir bist du schön.
You said that. You
wrote it twice, actually.
Oh,
Once
you mean the second verse?
Then I wrote a weather song called Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. I wrote a song like Give Me 5 Minutes More. I wrote songs like I've Heard That Song Before, etc., etc., etc. That's my best one, etc.
Well, just about everything you write turns out to be a hit. Huh? How long do you sit at a piano before you come up with one of these blockbusters?
I don't sit at a piano. I sit at a typewriter.
Typewriter? How do you get music out of a typewriter?
I don't get music. I get words. I write the words.
Sammy, you've written a lot of songs for pictures. Didn't you win an Oscar a few years back?
Yes, I did win an Oscar, and I am proud to say that I am one of the few songwriters who has also won.
That's so. You don't have to be grammatical. They know you're a songwriter.
Who has also won an Emmy.
What did you get the Oscar for?
I got the Oscar for 3 Coins in the Fountain.
Well, what song do you think will cop the award this year, Sam?
Well, frankly, I think that the very, very best song this year is the song All the Way from the Joker's Wild.
I saw the picture, and I've heard the song. Sinatra had a record of it, too, didn't he? Now, why did you pick that over all the others? There are hundreds of songs this year.
I wrote it.
Now, he's certainly the most modest songwriter you've ever seen. Who was the mediocrity who wrote the music?
Some talented fellow named Jimmy Van Heusen.
Could you sing this song for us?
Groucho, I'd love to do All the Way, but could I do it with the orchestra?
Orchestra, will you join them? Have you got any glue out there? He wants to be joined.
We will do it in the key as written.
Okay.
When somebody loves you, it's no good unless he loves you all the way. Happy to be near you when you need someone to cheer you all the way. Who knows where the road will lead us? Only a fool would say. But if you let me love you, it's for sure I'm gonna love you all the way. All the way. You
know that Sinatra sings that better alone than we sing it together? Sammy, it was nice having you here tonight, and I hope your song wins the Academy Award. Now, let's play You Bet Your Life. You have selected professions of famous people. I'm going to ask you some questions. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. You ready?
Yes.
What was Alexander Graham Bell's profession?
I would say he was an inventor.
That's right. What made Jacques Cartier famous?
Jewelry.
Cartier.
He was a jeweler, a designer of jewelry.
Jacquees. Cartier.
Cartier? My guess is he was a jeweler.
I thought he was a dancer.
I claim he invented the telephone. Actually, he was an explorer. He discovered the St. Lawrence River. You got mixed up with that expensive fellow in New York.
Yeah. I didn't know there was another Cartier.
Oh, sure. Why, your wife must have a lot of jewelry.
Now have one wrong.
Who was Ruggiero Leoncavallo?
He was a composer.
Yeah.
You now have one right.
Who was Charles Dana Gibson?
He was an artist.
Charles Dana Gibson. All right, illustrator, artist.
You're halfway to $1,000. Now get the next 2 right and it's yours.
How did James Watt make his living?
He was an inventor.
That's right. You don't remember what he invented, huh?
I believe I do. But if it's important,
it isn't, no.
I don't know what he did then.
See, actually, he invented the steam engine. Now, what was the profession of George A. Custer?
He was a soldier.
Fighter.
Yes. He also made pies, didn't he? Custer pie?
Did they get that right?
Yeah, they got
Oh, then you got 4 in a row. You win $1,000.
4 in a row. Now you've won $1,000.
She's liking me better all the time.
Oh, yes.
You can keep it and quit, or else you can come back later and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $10,000. So go over there and sit down and think about it, kids. And whatever you decide to do, thanks for being on the show. Arrivederci.
In just a moment, our second couple will join Groucho to play You Bet Your Life.
When the ice is smooth and the sky is blue and the skaters' waltz is played for 2.
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Groucho, we have a couple of single girls who are anxious to talk to you. They're Dolores Olson and Sandy Silence. So, girls, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Let's see. Who are you? Your name is?
Sandy.
You're both named Sandy?
No, mine's Dolores.
Your name is Dolores, huh? Which one is the oldest? Which one is Dolores? That's you?
I'm 20.
And how about you?
I'm 22.
Oh. Well, why are you here together? Are you sisters?
No.
Brothers? Why are you here together?
Mr. Fitterman found out that we're roommates and
I beg your pardon?
to be on your show.
What was that?
Mr. Fitterman.
Mr. Fitterman? What show is he connected with? Huh? You don't mean... You mean Fenneman?
That's right.
Oh. Does he tell you his name was Fitterman? Hey, Fitterman, come out here. You changed your name, I see. Huh? Oh, have you been doing this for a long time?
What?
Using 2 names? Huh? Why do you call yourself Fitterman when you met these guys?
I think she
You
called
know
me.
they'd find out your name was Fenneman, didn't they? Why did you do this, George?
I didn't do anything, honest.
They told me They told me that you said that your name was Fitterman. Now, you must have been doing it for some reason. When I use a different name, there's a reason for it. And I'm sure there is when you do it. Aren't you a married man?
Up till now, I was, yes.
How did you find out they were roommates?
Well,
George, I'm not criticizing you. I just want to know what technique you use, that's all.
No, actually, a friend of mine told me about the girls.
A friend of yours knew these girls, and he introduced you to them?
Yeah, well, he told me. I wasn't even there.
You know that old line, the light that lies in a man's eyes and lies and lies and lies. Well, there it is, folks. The private life of George Fitterman. Now, Sandy, where did you meet Dolores?
A couple of years ago, we worked at NBC in Portland.
You worked at NBC in Portland. Well, it's a wonderful network, NBC, and I'm glad you're with us. Portland, I salute you. NBC adds another affiliate. What station does NBC have in Portland?
It wasn't a station. It was the National Biscuit Company.
Well, NBC just lost another affiliate. Now, what did you do for the National Biscuit Company?
I packed cookies for about 3 weeks, and then I was fired.
Why, were you putting too many cookies in the box?
No, it was
Why did they fire you?
It was a personality clash.
With who?
My boss.
I mean, well, what happened? I mean, was he fresh?
No.
Well, what other reason could there possibly be?
I think he thought I didn't know how to pack cookies too well.
Well, it's not easy, you know, putting those things in a box. Believe me, it's quite a job. What did you do for the NBC Biscuit Company, Dolores?
Oh, I fed cookies to machines and watched them go down a conveyor belt.
Well, that's interesting. It's something like Niagara Falls, isn't it? Well, now we have you in L.A., Dolores. How did you go about making your fortune after you landed here?
I got a job working at an aircraft office as a private secretary.
Oh, well, that's much better, isn't it, than feeding cookies into an iron machine? How long did this job last?
3 weeks.
Why'd you quit?
Well, I didn't really quit. They let me go after they found out I couldn't type.
You got a job as a secretary and you couldn't type?
Well, I can't type. I don't know shorthand. I don't like to file.
He must have hated to see you go, huh? You must have had more coffee breaks than all of Brazil. Well, what was your next job?
I went to work at Here's Aircraft Company in their blueprint department. I handled missile and airborne prints.
You handled missiles? If I could get the audience to chip in, would you like to go to Moscow?
When?
I mean, and be in their employ over there in the missile department? Well, you're charming girls, and I've enjoyed talking to you. Now, let's see how much you know. Now, you selected the dictionary quiz, and since you don't know anything about an office, I imagine you're going to be great at this. Now, I'm going to say something, and you're going to give me the meanings. Mr. Fitterman, you've met here. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Now, what is a statute?
A statute?
S-T-A-T-U-T-E.
Well, I think it's a kind of a law.
You don't have to go any further. Say, you've got plenty on the ball there, kid.
You have one right.
And how do you like that, huh? Your friends are doing well, aren't they, George? Huh?
I'm not going to say anything.
I think you said plenty before they come out here. What kind of an animal is a dromedary?
A dromedary?
Talk it over. Come on, girls.
Kind of a rat?
Let's keep George out of this. It's a camel. You should have known that.
A what?
A camel. They know the hard ones. They just don't know the easy ones. Now, what is myopia?
Could you spell it, please?
I'll try. M-Y-O-P-I-A. Myopia. The adjective is myopic.
Myopic?
Yes.
I think it has something to do with singularly or one.
No, it means nearsightedness.
Myopia?
No, they're all through.
I'm afraid you've gotten... Well, I know you've gotten two.
I'm sorry you missed two in a row because of the relationship between you three. We don't want you to go away empty-handed. So I'm going to ask you one question for $100. What was the profession of the famous painter Rembrandt?
I guess he was an artist.
No, I'm sorry. He wrote Beethoven's Eighth Symphony. But thanks for being with us. So you win $100, and we were delighted to have you on the show. Hey, you're a couple of fine guys.
We'll find out if our first couple will try for $10,000 in just a moment.
Who's gonna win the Thoroughbred Kentucky Club's Thoroughbred? Who's gonna win that horse and make it pay? Lots of money, well, Kentucky Club. Pipe Tobacco has to find a winner. So the horse is here, the time is near. Get your entry blank today.
Yes, enter the annual Derby Day contest sponsored by Kentucky Club's 9 brands of pipe tobaccos. First prize, a Thoroughbred bay colt, son of famous Count Cleet, who captured racing's Triple Crown. Jockey Ted Atkinson helped select this prize colt. You name him, and he's yours. He could win a fortune for you. Get Kentucky Club Derby Day contest entry blanks free at tobacco counters now.
Hey, who's gonna win the Thoroughbred Kentucky Club's Thoroughbred? Who's gonna win that horse and make it pay? Lots of money, well, Kentucky Club. Pipe Tobacco has to find a winner. So the horse is here, the time is near. Get your entry blank today.
George, who's going to try for the $10,000?
Louise Randall Pearson and Sammy Cahn. Would you come in, please?
Sammy Cahn.
Have you their decision?
Sam, you're not satisfied with what you've won.
I'm satisfied, but I'm also older.
Well, you've won $1,000 so far. Now, if you decide to try for the 10 and you fail, you wind up with a total of $500. Now, what are you going to do?
We're going to try for it.
You're going to try? Well, pick a number.
5.
5.
If any number besides the one you pick comes up, the question is worth $2,000. If your number comes up, the question is worth $10,000. Give it a try. Go on. Your number was 5 and it landed on 2, so this question is worth $2,000. Now, there's a prominent line painted on all large ships to indicate the depth to which the vessel may be submerged by loading. For $2,000, what is the name for this line? Talk it over. Take a guess.
Submersion?
No, it's the Plimsoll line.
Anybody knows that.
Why, sure.
It's a well-known. I'm sorry you missed it, so you wind up with $500. That isn't too bad. Congratulations, and thanks for being on the show. And Sammy, your songs are just wonderful.
Thank you.
You Bet Your Life is transcribed in Hollywood. Produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jack Meakin. This is George Fenneman reminding you to tune in again next week, same time, same station, to hear the one, the only Groucho. And see Groucho every Thursday evening on NBC television. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces around the world.
From 67 years ago, March 10th, 1958, You Bet Your Life on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream. Coming up next, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Your automobile may save your life during a national emergency. It can move you out of the target area, provide shelter, communications, and carry supplies. Keep your car in good shape at all times.
Watch out, Sam Shovel is afoot, along with other things from the crazy minds of Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, 76 years ago, March 10th, 1949.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure, with chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right, stop that yelling. Where have you been since early this morning?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been working for the Red Cross collecting money.
Oh, that's very commendable, Costello.
Yes, I get 10% of what I collect. Today I got $150 and they got 30.
Wait a minute. If you get 10%, how come the Red Cross only got $30? And you got $150?
I don't know, just lucky, I guess.
Well, I'm glad you're spending your time at something useful.
Well, I didn't work all day. I sneaked into a movie theater and saw a French movie. Abbott, I wish I could get into the movies. I tried like Lana Turner. I really did. I sat on a drugstore stool all day sipping sodas and wearing sweaters and nothing happened.
It didn't?
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't have worn those short sleeves. Gee, I wish I had a girl like Lana Turner.
Oh, Costello, all girls are alike. Take my wife. She's just a rag of bone to hang a hair.
Boy, you really went in the junk business, didn't you?
I don't know why you even talk about girls with you. You'll never have a girl.
Oh, yeah? Well, I got me a new girl right now, and tomorrow morning I'm going to take her boating.
Boating?
Duke and I are going to take her over
What
to
do you know about sailing boats?
What I know about sailing boats?
What do you know about sailing
I know a lot, Abbott. Get a load of this. Batten down the topsail, lower the mizzenmast, heave the anchor, and scrub my back.
Scrub your back?
Yeah, I learned to sail boats in the bathtub.
Oh, get him out.
Before the boys get any further involved in nonsense, here's a thought that makes good sense.
Stop that noise. Where have you been all week? I've been looking for you.
Well, I was home, Abbott. You won't believe this, but I built a television set.
What'd you build it out of?
I took some bed springs from my mother's bed and made some coils. Then I took a whole lot more wire from my mother's bed springs and wound it around the coils. Then I got a piece of glass for a screen and I looked through it.
What'd you see?
My mother falling through the bed springs.
You idiot. You know nothing about television.
Maybe not, but my brother Pat invented a television set for automobiles. They could have put them on the dashboards of every car in Hollywood.
How can a man drive a car, look at a television set, and watch the road?
In California, who watches the road?
No. There's no sense talking to you, Costello. You and your brother Pat and all the kids in your family are a bunch of morons.
Now, just a minute, Abbott. Morons. Just take a look at this picture. There's me and all my brothers and sisters. And you can tell by that picture that my mother didn't raise any morons.
Maybe not. But your father must have been pretty busy.
Go ahead and laugh, Abbott. You might as well. The audience ain't laughing.
Yes, it did. Never mind that. I still say you're a moron, and I can prove it.
I am not.
All right, then. Why do you go to bed every night in a swimming suit?
I have to. My hot water bottle leaks.
It's a shame. A boy that comes from as nice a family as you do, a lovely mother, and out of 7 children, you are the only nincompoop. How did that happen?
I don't know. I'm just lucky, I guess.
I think you take after your Uncle Mike.
Poor Uncle Mike. He's in bad shape, Abbott.
He is?
Yes, he is.
I didn't know that.
He lost his job, spent all his money, and then started hocking things.
Oh, that's too bad.
He hocked his gold teeth, then he hocked his toupee, his glass eye, and now Aunt May is suing him.
What for?
Desertion. She says there's more of him hanging in a pawn shop window than there is at home.
Costello, you'll never amount to anything.
Is that so? Why, only last night I heard that I was one of the most handsome comedians on the radio. One of the finest actors on the screen. And the answer to every woman's prayer.
Who told you all this? Where did you hear it?
I took in my sleep. That was a wonderful dream, though. Last night I dreamed I was one of the 3 Musketeers. There they were on a desert island. Me, Rita Hayworth, and Hedy Lamar.
Wait a minute. The cast of the 3 Musketeers are all men.
Abbott, when I dream, I do my own casting.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. All day long you chase girls, and at night you dream about girls.
Yes, and now I'm writing songs about girls. I wrote a song about a girl today.
What's the name of it?
It's entitled, If You Were the Only Girl in the World and I Was the Only Boy, Who Would I Play Handball With at the Y?
You a songwriter. You don't know the first thing about writing songs. Songs should be sentimental. The kind of songs that make money are mother songs.
Oh, I wrote a mother song.
What's the name of it?
I call it Mother. Mother, don't fall for that chiropractor. He's only pulling your leg. Would you like to have me sing it for you, Abbott?
Sing it? Yeah. Oh, no. Now, don't tell me
Mother,
wait a minute.
He's only pulling your leg.
Now, wait a minute. No, please. None of that. Don't tell me you're a singer, too.
Oh, sure. I used to be a member of that great singing group, the Sons of the Pioneers.
Why did you leave them?
I ran out of saddle soap.
I thought so. You can't sing a note.
Yeah, but I'll have you know right now that I'm attending singing school.
Which one?
It's called the Hollywood Conservatory of Voice Training and Plumbing.
Plumbing? Why does a singing school teach plumbing?
Well, if your pipes get stopped up, you can fix them yourself.
Hey, Uncle Bud.
It's Abbott's nephew, folks. The Gregory Peck of the Sunset Bowling Alleys.
What's on your mind, nephew Norman?
Well, Uncle Bud, they just got a new girl to play the part of Portia on Portia Faces Life. And the director of the show sent me over to get Costello to come over to the studio right away.
Do they want me to play opposite this girl that's going to play Portia?
No, they just want to test her out, and they want her to get a good look at you, Uncle Lou.
What for?
Well, they figure if she can face you, she can face life.
You know, that nephew of yours is a lovely boy, Abbott. And, folks, the day he was born, his mother took one look at him, went out and put a porcupine in the stork's nest and said to the stork, "Now we're even."
Why you always mean to Norman? Why don't you get friendly with him and invite him over to your house, Lou?
Well, maybe I will. Send him over to my house Saturday. Him and me will play jacks.
That's fine.
Yep. Then I can let the car down on his head.
You're just jealous of Norman because he has such a fine reputation. He's not like you. He wants to make something of himself. All you do is stand around all day and make goo-goo eyes at the girls. Why do you make those goo-goo eyes?
You know me, Abbott. When I got a goo, I got a goo.
Well, you'd be better off if you found some nice girl and got married.
Well, I thought I'd found one, Abbott. But thank goodness I found her out in time.
What do you mean?
I discovered that she was planning on having a home in children, and domestic security.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Don't you get it? She's a gold digger. And besides, I don't want to get married.
Shame on you. Shame for that remark. Marriage is a wonderful thing.
Marriage is an institution.
What do you mean, an institution?
But who wants to live in an institution? Marriage is a three-ring circus.
A three-ring? What do you mean, a three-ring circus?
First comes the engagement ring.
Yes.
Then the wedding ring, and then suffering.
Oh, you never make a good husband. In the first place, you don't know what a husband is.
Who wouldn't make a good husband?
You don't know what a husband is.
I don't know what a husband
No.
is. A husband is what's left of a sweetheart after the nerve has been killed.
But marriage, Lou. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Marriage is the union.
If I can find my place, I'll be with you, sonny boy.
You don't have to find it, Lou. I'll explain it to you. Marriage is the union of two hearts beating as one. Marriage is what brings complete happiness to men and women. Ask any married couple, and they'll tell you that marriage is the most wonderful,
Just a minute, Abbott. All the kids are asleep now, so you can tell the truth.
The trouble with you is that you've never met a girl that would have you.
I did so. I once stayed with a redhead for the past 6 months. Every night I used to meet her under a broken streetlight, and we'd hug and we'd kiss.
Well, what happened to her?
Somebody fixed that streetlight Saturday night, and I haven't seen her since.
I thought so. No girl would marry you. You have nothing to offer a girl.
If Hildegard would marry me, I'd have something to offer her.
Now, what could you give Hildegard?
A last name.
Oh, hello, boys.
Well, it's our charming secretary, Viola Vaughn. Viola, you look charming, as usual tonight.
Oh, thank you. And I'm glad to see you both looking good.
Well-
Costello, you look exceptionally well.
Thank you, Viola. I feel right in the pink.
You are?
Yep. My blue ones are in the laundry. Viola, how about stepping out with me tonight?
Viola don't want any part of you, Costello. You go with too many girls.
Yes, Abbott's right.
Right.
If you want to go steady with me, there are two things you'll have to do.
Okay, what are they?
You'll have to stay away from all the fat girls,
Okay.
and you'll have to stay away from all the skinny
Just
girls.
a minute, Viola. What about all the pretty girls in between?
Don't worry, they'll stay away from you.
That's telling him, Viola. That's a good one.
Oh, shovel the almonds in the wagon, Abbott. I'm driving him nuts tonight.
Watch yourself, Viola. Gracie Allen would just love to have 2 shows.
Costello, you're just jealous because Viola is a great actress.
Yes, he's right, Costello. I started off in vaudeville, then I went to musical comedy, then I got in pictures, and then I went into radio.
Can't hold a job no place, can you? Viola, I just can't seem to resist you.
Lou Costello!
Yes.
How dare you kiss me?
I was just trying to steal a little fruit in the garden of love.
You wouldn't know it's made from a watermelon.
How could I? I never kissed a watermelon.
Well, that was quite a kiss, Costello. You know, you're not like other boys.
Viola, I've been told that before.
By whom?
Other boys.
Well, I've got to go now. I'm taking rumba lessons.
Oh. Viola, how do you rumba?
Well, here, I'll show you.
Go ahead.
First, I put my arm around you.
Mm-hmm.
Then I throw my left shoulder out. Then we take a step, and I throw my left hip out.
I got that. Now, what part do I throw out?
If I had your parts, Costello, I'd throw them all out. So long, Thatcher.
That's only half the fun, folks. Just as many laughs yet to come. But first, listen to this.
the spotlight turns to Hal Winters, our singing star. Here he is with Matty Malnick and his orchestra.
Look up, when everything's looking down. Whenever you're low, let everything go. Come out of that gloomy frown. Look up, whenever those clouds are gray. It's gonna be fun whenever that sun starts chasing those clouds away. There's no room for old man gloom, so shake him. You're bound to take him. Just try a smile or two, but whatever you do, look up. Don't ever give up the fight. When everything's wrong, it's never too long till everything turns out right. So whatever you do, look up. Look up, when everything's looking down. Whenever you're low, let everything go. Come out of that gloomy frown. Look up, whenever those clouds are gray. It's gonna be fun whenever that sun starts chasing those clouds away. There's no room for old man gloom, so shake him. You're bound to take him. Just try a smile or two, but whatever you do, look up. Don't ever give up the fight. When everything's wrong, it's never too long till everything turns out right. So whatever you do, look up.
A lovely voice.
Hey, Costello, come out here.
Voice.
What were you doing in the dressing room?
Packing, Abbott. I'm getting out of California. I'm disgusted. Every year the same cold, rainy, lousy, unusual weather. Get so now you don't know what kind of clothes to huck anymore.
Before you leave, you'd better pay your income tax.
Oh, I just got my tax blank from Washington. Them 1949 income tax blanks are printed on paper with real sharp edges.
Hey, I noticed the sharp edge paper those income tax blanks have this year. I wonder what that's for.
Well, they figured that after you fill it out and see how much money you got left, you can cut your throat with it.
Did your Uncle Mike make out his tax returns?
Yes, he earned $30,000 last year, but he had a tax accountant figure his tax, and he only paid the government 75 cents.
Say, I'd like to get that accountant to make out my tax. Where can I get in touch with him?
Just call San Quentin and ask for number 211-869.
Well, Mike should have made out his own tax. Do you know how to pay your tax, Costello?
It's very simple. You just get on the Income Tax Bureau.
Yes.
There's a guy sitting there with a big pad and pencil. He's a tax collector.
Yes.
First, he takes all the money you made last year.
Yes.
That's all. He just takes all the money you made last year.
Will you please talk sense? What's that you have in your hand? Is that a tax blank?
Nope, it's a fan letter from one of my Sam Shovel fans.
What is your Sam Shovel story about tonight, Lou?
Well, in keeping with the income tax season, Abbott, I will do one of my famous income tax cases. I call it the case of the Strip-Tease dancer who was arrested for income tax fraud, or she took off too much for entertainment.
Well, that sounds interesting. Let's do it.
And now, the Whooping Company, makers of the famous remedy for colds, Whooping Cough Drops, present your favorite detective mystery, Sam Shovel, Private Detective. But first, a word about our product. Folks, get a box of Whooping Cough Drops today. It's the only cough drop that contains carbolic acid. Put one in your mouth and watch your cough disappear. Also, your tonsils, your tongue, and your teeth. Friends, Whooping Cough Drops have instant action. Listen to how they work. Here is a man suffering from a bad cold.
I'll say I got a bad cold. Give me a whooping cough drop, please.
I will now give this poor man a whooping cough drop. He swallowed it. And now, sir, tell us, how do you feel?
Just wonderful. I feel grand.
I gotta speak to the factory. They're making those too strong. And now, Whooping Cough Drops proudly presents that thriller of thrillers, Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. Well, I gotta go to work now. I gotta knuckle down and write some letters. I hate to knuckle down and write letters. It ain't easy writing letters with your knuckles. I think I'll dictate to my secretary, Viola.
Yes, Mr. Shovel?
Take a letter.
W.
Wrong. I had G. What are we doing? I want to dictate a letter. Dear Mr. Harrington, I've been working on the Harrington case for 5 years, Mr. Harrington. I've enjoyed working on the Harrington case, Mr. Harrington. You are one of my best clients, and Mr. Harrington, you can count on me. My best to Mrs. Harrington, and to you too, Mr. Harrington.
Who shall I send it to?
Rudolph Schlumpheimer.
Rudolph Schlumpheimer? But, Mr. Shovel, you told me you were going to write to Mr. Pruneferter today.
Okay, then send it to him.
Mr. Shovel, are you sure you're feeling all right?
Sure, I'm all right. Now, you go and write. You can go now. We'll be back to work. This detective business is very interesting. Last week I solved the case of the missing coal miner. I hunted for him for 3 weeks, and I found him. He was hiding in one of John L. Lewis's eyebrows. I look on my calendar. I've got to go to court against my dentist today. Every 6 months I bring my dentist to court. I believe in that old saying, sue your dentist twice a year. My pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad, is going to help me on the case. You've got to admire Lieutenant Abbott. He's worked hard for the police department for 20 years. He's managed to put aside a nice nest egg. He ain't got a dime, just a nest with egg in it.
Hello, Sam Shovel.
You're late.
I couldn't help it, Sam. I just made an important arrest. Some tramps were cooking a pot of coffee next to a fire hydrant.
And you arrested them for that?
Certainly. He was in a no perking zone.
Hey, Lieutenant Abbott! Lieutenant Abbott! I caught them thieves!
Sam, this is one of the department's new traffic officers, Sergeant Murphy. Sergeant, how'd you catch those thieves?
Well, sir, they was shooting up Sunset in a new Hudson, going 90 miles an hour, and I forced them over to the curb. Oh, what a chase.
Good work, good work. I hope you didn't damage your motorcycle.
Oh, I'm supposed to have a motorcycle?
Never mind him, Sam. I need your help on an income tax case. It's Gertie, the queen of the gamblers. She'll listen to you. You know her. You were kids together.
Yes, gambling Gertie. Even when she was a kid, she was a gambler. I remember how I used to help her carry her bookies home from school.
Were you in love with her, Sam?
Yes, but it was just puppy love, and she broke it off.
When did she break it off?
As soon as she found out I wasn't a puppy.
Sam, we're wasting time. Gambling Gertie has been defrauding the government on her income tax, and we've got to go to her place and arrest her. Come on.
Lieutenant Abbott and I went down to Gambling Gertie's joint. As we walked in, there she stood. I spoke to her. Gertie, it's nice to see you. You look lovely with those long, tapering legs and your sleek, well-rounded form. You look as smooth as glass.
Sam, this is me over here. You're looking at the water cooler.
Sam, play up to her. Remember, we're after information. Go ahead, give her a kiss.
Gertie, You're as sweet as ever.
Oh, Sam, you haven't changed a bit. I can see the love light in your eyes. Come to my arms, Sam. Let me put my head on your shoulder. Ah, that's it. Now put your arms around me. Oh, that's fine. Now, Sam, put your head close to mine. Ah, Sam, you're so sweet.
Sam, why don't you kiss her?
How can I? She's fighting me.
Oh, Sam, I want to kiss you in the worst way.
Try it with a mouth full of bubble gum. That's the worst way.
Enough of this nonsense. Gertie, you're under arrest. We're taking you to jail. You made false statements on your income tax.
What false statement?
Oh, that's your line. Excuse me.
$10,000 for dresses charged to entertainment. Dresses are an entertainment.
The way I wear them, they are.
Gertie, you're going to jail.
Oh, Sam, you can't let him take me to jail. Oh, think of it. Me, all alone in jail. No one to love me. No one to hug me. No one to kiss me. Oh, think of it. Beautiful me, all alone in jail. Sam, come back here. Where are you going?
I'm going to get my hat and go with you.
Get him out of here!
Now, before Abbott and Costello have their final fling, we bring you one more thought on this subject.
Come back here, Costello. We're not finished yet.
Abbott, I'm in a hurry. I got to get home and finish my new song.
You're writing another song?
Yes, and it's a dandy. It's so sentimental. It's about Mother.
A mother song, eh? What's the name of it?
It's entitled, Mother, when I saw you sitting on the whistle of that train, I knew you were out on a toot.
You dummy, you better leave writing to the boys who write our show. Folks, our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman, with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Len Stern.
Yes, and to our producer, Charles Vander. We'll be back with you next Tuesday night. Thursday night!
Good night, folks. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody in Patterson. Good night!
Listen every Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
Good night, folks.
There you have it. Bud Abbott, Lou Costello, 76 years ago today, March 10th, 1949. Coming up next, we'll see what's going on with Claudia.
In case of enemy attack on our country, these two numbers, 640 and 1240, may save your life. They are your Conelrad frequencies. Remember, 640 and 1240.
We wrap up this Monday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox with an episode of Claudia. This goes back 76 years to March 10th, 1949.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia.
Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Well, that was our barn. How do you like it, Julia?
Oh, as well as I'd like any barn that smells like a barn.
Well, that's the nicest part of the barn, I think.
You're very amusing, lad. Listen, are those birds I'm hearing?
Why not?
But it's only the middle of March, and Connecticut still looks as bleak as an Alaskan landscape.
Well, bleak or not, those are birds we hear. Few loyal ones spent the winter with us, and the others are starting to arrive back already. Pretty soon it'll be spring. Yes, very soon.
You can't wait, can you?
Well, hardly.
I don't know how you stood spending the entire winter up here with the few loyal birds.
I didn't mind. I liked it.
But there's hardly anyone here your age or even, well, your type. And what can you do all day?
Oh, there are a million things to do with a baby. Animals and a house and a husband to take care of. As for people my age, Julia, they're too young for me. I don't miss them.
Still, you're too young to bury yourself in the country.
Well, I don't consider myself buried. Maybe that's why I like it. Especially now that we have the animals. Mama's here. And, of course, David adores it.
I suppose that last would be reason enough for you.
I suppose.
You're an amazing child.
I'm not a child, Julia.
No, you're not. But I was, at your age. Claudia, you've been a darling having us here overnight.
Don't be silly. I loved having you. Well, you're the only sister-in-law David has. I have no brothers or sisters of my own, so we're very possessive about you. Want to go back in the house?
Yes, I'm ready. It's still a little raw out. Or maybe I'm just not accustomed to all this outdoors.
Here we are. Hey, the door's open.
Ooh.
Is that you? Julia, don't tell me you've been out of doors this early, right after breakfast.
It's stylish on a farm, Hartley. Claudia's been trying to convert me to the simple life, but I'm afraid I'm unconvertible.
Julia said the heifer had nice eyes, but that's as far as she'll go. What have you and David been talking about, Hartley?
Well, what do you think?
The stock market.
Nope, you're wrong. Farming.
Whenever Hartley comes up here, he fancies himself a farmer, but I'd like to see him at it for 5 minutes.
Oh, I think he'd be a pretty good farmer. It's in the Naughton blood, you know.
In that case, all the family blood is in your veins, my boy.
Hartley'd be sort of a country squire kind of farmer, I think. I can see him strolling through his fields with his dogs at his heels and a walking stick in your hand, Hartley.
Very romantic. Well, Hartley, what about getting back to New York sometime?
No. Don't go. It's still early, and I don't have an appointment until noon.
You know about the local schoolhouse you're building?
Mm-hmm. It's coming along fine, too.
I can't for the life of me see why you waste your time building country schoolhouses.
No, because children have to go to school in the country, I suppose.
Well, I don't think that's a good enough reason.
Well, I do.
What do you think, Hartley?
I think David's life is his own.
Well, not at all. You're his older brother. You can tell him what you think.
I just did, my dear.
Tucker here. Go, come on in, Mr. Tucker.
Who is Mr. Tucker?
You know him, the man we bought this house from, Julia.
That queer old man?
Well,
does he walk in and out of your house as if he owned it?
Well, I guess he owned it so long, it's sort of hard for him to believe he doesn't own it still.
Well, if it ain't a congregation sitting here in your living room.
Mr. Tucker, you know my brother, and this is his wife, Julia.
Oh, yes, we've met.
Yes,
your brother, who ain't much like our Mr. Naughton, yes.
Well, I'm the only brother.
More's a pity that you ain't like Mr. Naughton, I mean.
Mr. Tucker is prejudiced. We're neighbors.
That's a coincidence. What is more important is that we be friends.
Mr. Tucker, sit down, won't
Oh, I ain't got the time, ma'am. I didn't come over here to sit and palaver with you folks.
Well, is there something we can lend you?
Well, mighty kind of you to offer. Yep, there be something you can lend me.
Just mention it, and it's yours.
You folks realize that spring is practically breathing down our necks.
Yes, we heard birds this morning.
Oh, that ain't no sign, ma'am, but spring is practically breathing down our necks, and there's a hustling amount of work to be done.
Then what is a sign of spring, Mr. Tucker?
There be a thaw on the ground, ma'am. You can walk into the pasture and sink your foot up to the knee.
How nice.
It be nice. Shows the ground's waking up and life's going to be springing up. And If we don't start moving fast, nature's going to get so far ahead of us, we ain't never going to catch up. And, ma'am, that's a pretty sad spot for a farmer to be in.
Well, it all sounds very hectic.
So hectic that every minute spent talking is a minute wasted as a field of rotten corn.
What a pretty picture.
Now, then, let's not talk about it, Mr. Tucker. You just tell me what I can do for you.
I need manpower, son. I need manpower. It's one of the crimes of nature that Jared Tucker was born with only 2 arms. I could use as many as you'd find on a daddy longlegs. Oh, where's your man Fritz this morning?
Oh, he had to go up to Hartford to arrange to have our truck fixed.
Oh, well, what about you?
Well, I'm afraid I've got a meeting at the school board in a little while, Mr. Tucker.
I'll help. What is it?
Man's work, ma'am.
Oh.
I got a string of wire fence. Ground's so soft I can sink the post, and I got to get my fence up before I can let my cattle graze, and I aim to let my cattle graze as soon as I get my fence strung. So you can see I'm kind of in a hurry.
That's too bad. I'd like to help you,
I
Mr.
accept
Tucker.
your apology. What about you?
Who, me?
You're a man, yes, you.
Well, I've never strung a wire post or whatever you call it in my life.
Got arms, ain't you?
Yes, I seem to have the normal amount.
Got legs, ain't you?
I seem to have those, too.
Well, that's all you need to string a wire fence. That's all you need.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Tucker. I don't think my brother wants to do this.
It ain't a matter of wanting. It's a necessity.
But he just came up for the night, and he hasn't got his working clothes with him.
Bet he don't own any working
And
clothes.
besides, he has trouble with his gallbladder.
Well, he ain't gonna need his gallbladder for this here job. Come along, Mr. Hartley. Time's a frittering itself away.
Hartley, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Coming, man?
Hartley, maybe you'd better not. You can tell him.
I'm standing on 1 foot waiting for you.
Look, I tell you, I'll postpone my schoolhouse appointment, and I'll help him, Hartley.
darling, you
you don't want to get your clothes all muddy.
If I wait much longer, summer will be here, and I still won't have my fence up.
I'm coming with you, Mr. Tucker. Yes, I'm coming with you.
Now, Hartley, you know what the doctor said.
Blast the doctor. Mr. Tucker, lead the way.
I knowed if you was a relative of David Norton's, even you wouldn't leave a neighbor in the lurch.
Well, of all the ridiculous performances.
Poor Hartley. Do you think you'll enjoy it?
I rather doubt it.
Mr. Tucker will be scolding him so much he'll come home feeling like a punished schoolboy.
Oh, he'll survive.
I don't know. When Hartley gets his feet wet, he always catches cold.
Oh, it's not wet outside. It's only muddy.
Muddy is enough for Hartley. Well, he has no one to thank for it but himself.
I don't know. When Mr. Tucker decided to make Hartley his victim, there's no getting out of it.
Hartley should have been firm. He didn't have to let himself be swept off his feet by that old man. Except he probably wanted to be.
Yeah, maybe he did.
Where are you going, Julia?
Just into the kitchen to get a glass of water.
Oh, I'll get it for you.
Oh, it's all right. I'll get it.
Well, don't you want something else to drink besides water? Milk, for instance.
Heavens, no. I haven't drunk milk since I was 2.
If you lived on a farm, you'd drink it anyway.
Maybe that's one of the reasons I don't live on a farm.
I suppose if you don't like a farm, that's as good a reason as any.
Well, I guess I'm just not the milkmaid type, Lamb.
Am I?
Claudia, you're any type you want to be. But I'm a little too old for that. I'll just get this glass of water, and then you can take me up to see my nephew.
You know, I don't think she's ever given a farm a fair chance.
Now,
Do you, David?
Stop taking it so personally. Julia likes the city. There's nothing wrong with some people liking the city, so stop trying to convert her.
Yep, I suppose you're right. She said herself she's unconvertible. Farm would do her a lot of good, though.
But she doesn't want to be done good to.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way, darling. I meant it would do her good to walk around without a girdle and without every hair in place. Not be afraid to touch an animal. The farm would make her get rid of her inferiority complex, David.
Hmm? What makes you think she has one?
Because she always tries so hard to look so perfect.
Oh, you think you're smart, huh?
Am I? David, stop rumpling my hair.
Yeah, you don't want to look so perfect, do you?
Oh, dear. I know I don't wear my clothes like Julia, and I don't know all sorts of fancy people like Julia, but do you love me?
So.
That's what I get for asking. Still, I forgive her.
Forgive who what?
Julia, who do you think we're talking about?
I have no idea.
Because for the kind of person she is, she's fine. I'm very fond of her.
Well, you better be, because I am. I couldn't have married her, but for a sister-in-law, she'll do fine.
You know, it's funny about brothers, isn't it?
Come again?
What I mean is that fundamentally, you're quite alike, you and Hartley, even though he's 10 years older than you. And look what different women you married.
Life is full of wonderful surprises.
Isn't it, though?
Now, come on. I'm going downtown. You want to come along?
Yes, I guess I better have to buy some extra meat now that Julie and Hartley are here. Oh, wait, I'll just see if Julia wants to come along, too. Julia? Did you fall into that glass of water?
No, but I fell into something else.
What?
Come on in.
David and I are going down to get... Julia, what are you doing?
I hardly know myself. What am I doing?
You look as if you were rolling in dough.
Well, I guess that's what I am doing.
Well, how come that's what you am doing?
I don't know exactly. I came in here to get a glass of water, and Bertha was starting to make these cookies. She looked as if she had a million things to do. When I asked her how to make the cookies, I guess she thought I was interested in making cookies, so she started telling me, and, well, here I am.
Julia, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Just leave it. Go on.
I don't mind. It's rather amusing. I wonder if I could make them.
Well, I know I couldn't.
With Bertha hovering over my shoulder, I'm sure that even I can. Won't Hartley be surprised? He doesn't think I'm good for anything. I'll surprise him.
He'll be wonderfully surprised.
So you run along downtown, dear, and when you come home, you can taste one of my golden brown cookies. Or rather, Bertha's. Bye, Lamb.
Well, I'll be back very quickly.
You both coming?
I'm coming. David, listen. You'll never believe it, but Julia is making cookies.
Oh, stop talking
She
nonsense.
is, honestly, really. Bertha inveigled her. And Bertha's a wonderful inveigler. Almost as good as Tucker.
It is the 9th wonder of the world.
Wish you could see her, David. She's making them at arm's length as if the batter were dirty. Say, what's the 8th wonder of the world?
Hardly stringing a wire fence.
Oh. David, they're going to hate us. They'll never come back. Hartley's going to be so stiff he won't be able to walk for a week. He'll hurt in every muscle. And Julia's going to ruin her nails in the dough and her hair in the oven.
It's mean to laugh, but I can't help it.
Oh, neither can I. They just don't belong, do they?
Well, this life isn't for everybody, you know.
I know. Until you came along, I didn't even know it was for me.
You didn't even know it was for you until long after I came along.
Oh, but David, I'm so glad you came along.
This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney. In offices and factories and shops, workers pause to refresh at the Coca-Cola cooler during breaks in routine. You can work refreshed at home, too. Pick up a carton of Coke at the grocery or drugstore, or have the service station attendant put a case in the car. Then you can keep Coke on ice so that it's always ready for you when you're ready for the pause that refreshes. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere.
March 10th, 1949, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. A variety show on Tuesday with episodes of The Big Show starring Tallulah Bankhead. Also, we'll have the Screen Guild Theater presentation of Irish Eyes Are Smiling, and we'll have another episode of Claudia. We'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.